I can't be alone. I can't be here. Save me, Luna. Take me away.
Hi, Tonatiuh. Nice to meet you.
Likewise.
Well, I'm Rodrigo from Brazil. And of course, here in Brazil, Kiss of the Spider Woman is a very important movie. It was our first Best Picture nomination, directed by Hector Babenco. So my first question is, what's your relationship with the original movie, if any relationship?
Yeah, no, I had watched the movie growing up, and when I got the job, I went back and I read the original book, the play. I went back and I read or I saw the Babenco film, and I went to see the 1993 Broadway musical. Um, I think that what the film was so brave because if you think about it, it was happening during the AIDS epidemic, and these three incredible stars took on a project that probably no one wanted to touch. And they brought so much humanity to the queer and the Latin communities. Because also there was like a lot of anti-Latin rhetoric here in the United States, right? And so it was very subversive because it was subversive. And I think that our film is doing something similar where we're saying in a time where trans folks and queer people are being called terrorists in the United States and Latinos are being attacked here, we're saying we love you and you get the Hollywood treatment. We get to go backwards in time and you get to um, act like Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers. You get to do these grandiose things. And so I think it's really beautiful.
And the responsibility of bringing this character to life, and this time with a correct queer representation, did it wait on you? It
Absolutely.
was, yes.
Oh no, the weight was very, very much on my shoulders. I think that um I really care about the work that I do, and I'm very intentional with my choices, craft. But more than anything else, especially in a project like this, because we are centering someone like Molina, who is genderqueer and who is larger than life, um, I wanted to make sure that people focus on their humanity, that they got to see their spirit, their heart, their eyes. I wanted to make it feel deeply human because the attacks on that community come from an othering, right? People dehumanize them. And I was like, no, I want their entire soul to be bared out loud because I need other people to see that the people that they don't understand are also humans as well.
And Molina is a great character because it shows the actor a lot of range because you have some deep scenes with Diego Luna, and but you have also the musical. So my question is, it was harder to bring the character to life in the prison scenes or the fantasy scenes with the musical and the dancing and the singing?
Well, we shot two movies. We did two completely
That's right.
we did two movies that are, and then there's two or three songs where they mix a little bit. But
Mhm.
at the end of the day, if you think about it, one was acted in a naturalistic 2025 way of telling the movie. The cinematography matched that, the costumes, the acting, the micro expressions, the thoughts behind it felt of that world. But then we had the 1950s with a different character, different arcs, different style of acting, different micro expressions, different mannerisms, different accent. And so we wanted to really just separate those two worlds um, because they require different technique in order to do that, right? And so what we did is we had these large conversations with Bill about what he wanted to create, and we sat at the table and we just talked about exactly what the plan was, the visual references. I watched as many musical theater films that I could, and I also watch a lot of classic cinema because there's that all lives in the same world to construct Kendall Nesbitt. And so I gave them like Errol Flynn's hair. I wanted to give them the essence of Montgomery Clift in The Heiress. Um, and then with Molina, the truth is, I brought a lot of my own reality into Molina, but then I also wanted to think carefully about what each statement meant. Does Molina have body hair? Does Molina have how much muscle does Molina get to have? How does Molina move through the world in a private space versus a public space? And so that one wasn't so much research outside of myself, but it was more careful planning inside of myself, to ensure that like a real human was born.
And one of the things I really love about this story is because the characters evolve. You see them change through the
Yeah.
story, and they bond. Of course, they are in a closed space, so maybe the bond is forced, or maybe the bond is faster because
Yeah.
they're time space. But how was to create this with Diego? Did you have time to before the shooting to bring this bond together, or you were put on a cell and let's roll?
So it was a mixture. So after we finished the musical, then we shifted our attention to the prison, right? And
Oh, the
Bill is
musical
an
first.
musical was first. And
Oh,
so
okay.
what Bill's an incredible director, and I think he really is an actor's director. He understands the actor's purpose and how to get us to um understand the world that he's building. And so we do what we do at any theater space. You start at the table. You start with the script. You just read it again and again and again, scene by scene with each other, and we talked about every line, every joke. There were things that we changed there, and he created a sense of collaboration where we could discuss things. And like, I come from a 2025 understanding of the world, but Molina lives in a 1980s understanding of the world, and Bill lives in a different understanding of the world. And so for us to really like get in there and like talk about the consequences of each line or the jokes, or to really understand those references, are super important. But then when it comes to the construction, the first time that you ever see Molina and Valentine meet was the first time Diego and I ever saw each other in full costume. And because we did a two-person play, we shot every scene in order, which is not
Important.
common in film, right? And so what was really interesting here, I think that all humans put a mask up to protect themselves, whether that's I'm smart or I'm hot or I'm, funny. Molina is bigger than life and tells these grandiose stories to try to convince you, but they're not authentic. They hide in order to survive. But in being in prison and after seeing horrible things and experiencing them, they can't hide anymore. They're tired of hiding. And Valentine, who seems to have nothing in common with Molina either, also is tired of hiding. And so these two people drop their walls and see each other for the very first time. And I think that there's something so special about that, because right now it feels like we live in a world where everyone's so different, and it's like, oh, we're all made to not like each other, or whatever that narrative is. But we have so much more that unites us. And vulnerability may have to be the price we pay in order to connect with each other again.
Yes. Well, I have to make one final question. So the fancy parts are very beautiful, very colorful, but I have to admit that my favorite was the last one. That's that
Opening
light.
the movie.
That was so beautiful. You in the red shirt and the skirts, and Diego all in black. I will not say what happens in the scene, but it was very moving. So tell me about a little bit of the musical parts, how was to shoot that, because I think we'll leave the audience with tear in their eyes in the end.
Um, it was magical. Again, we were going backwards in time, but we shot it all in one day. It was one day to shoot that entire thing. And so, we started off, I think, 6 or 7 in the morning, and I was in a full suit, and we were singing and, going. And then they said, okay, I think we got it. I was like, are you sure? And like, yeah, go change. And so all of a sudden the transformation had to happen very quickly. And so it was a roller coaster. I mean, it was just so fast. Um, but watching it again was a little weird, because here is me in the audience, watching me in the audience, watching me on the screen. And I was like, what is going on? This is so crazy. I felt like I was Nicole Kidman in the AMC commercial saying, we come to this place for magic, you know? But it was fun. And watching, I don't want to spoil the movie, but I think that the end really drives home the power of cinema. It really drives home how much we need stories to help us through whatever we're going through life, and the joy, the absolute joy that movies have brought to us. It makes us feel like little kids again, you know. And I'm excited for the rest of Brazil to get a chance to see it this week. I heard that you guys are seeing a little bit of it tomorrow at the film festival.
Yes.
But I can't wait to go down there and to say hi to all of you.
Well, thank you very much. We'll be very welcome here. So tonight, thank you very much for your time and success with the movie.
Thank you.